genealogy stuff, and it's amazing. So what we can do is, once we do this add-on for $3,000, Pontum will actually get our information and send it to a cloud of theirs, and they will create a link so that anyone in the public can double click on it and search by name of who all is buried in the Maysville, Mason County Cemetery. I do that all the time for people because they don't have that access to my records. So that, to me, I think that is a big thing with technology and stuff like that. I just think that's something we need to do. The other two things at the bottom, for the cedar split rail fence and then replace the roof on the storage building, that is something that I'm currently watching the budget to see where we're at. Middle of June, I may be able to pull some of that out of this year that's already allocated, and then have to do the additional next year. So that's pretty much what I have.
Kevin, what'd you say would come out of the perpetual?
It would be 28.
The 28,000.
28,000. Yeah, the 25 and then the 3, the top 2 items.
I'm 25.
Yeah, well, 25 plus the 3.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah, okay.
And we've already included that. We have about $900,000 in a perpetual account.
How much?
About 900,000, and we spent 45 this year. We just finished the projects that was budgeted for this fiscal year. So I've already included that $28,000 transfer in his budget. So again, that will have no effect on any additional expense to the city. It's just a use of those funds that have been restricted for that purpose.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Anybody have any other questions? Kevin, I've heard you do a great job.
Thank you.
He does a wonderful job, yes.
You do.
Very, very glad to have him down there.
And I'm glad that you go back and look at people's genealogy.
Absolutely. It's a big thing, and like I say, if we can get this online, it will help everyone to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
So they can be in Maine or Missouri or whatever, and tap in and be able to search our records.
So we like a link on our website.
Mhm.
Can we
Absolutely.
do something through that website?
And I did my due diligence on it to make sure, because our records are very, very important. And our records are not, even though like Pontum will actually pull our information and upload it to a cloud, but anyone that has access to that cloud does not have direct linkage to my files, so they can't be jeopardized.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Good job, Kevin.
We are streaming now, by the way.
Okay,
We're good.
thank you. I'll say it louder. Good job, Kevin. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. All right, if you guys want to go to tab 7, the light blue tab there. And these are requests, and Penny, correct me if I'm wrong, these are requests we have every year that come out of Ian Foster.
Correct.
So you have Buffalo Trace Children's Advocacy Center. This year we gave them 7. I think they've always requested 15.
Right. It's been the same since 2016 is the last time we gave them an increase.
Okay. The Youth Center, 8,500, CASA, 5,000, and Camp Discovery, 3,500.
As far as funding available, we have 147,000 available in the Ian Foster funds that are available for allocation, and we generally generate about 30,000 in revenue from interest. I don't know what this next year is going to bring, but that's where we were in the prior fiscal year. And this
So
has
the
no effect.
24 sounds pretty safe considering the amount of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at one point we had to cut them a few years
Yeah.
back because our interest had dropped and our balance was dwindling, but now our balance is growing and we can keep those allocations.
Good deal. Thank you, Penny.
Everybody okay with those requests there? Okay. Go to the next, go to tab 8. Those are just the letters there. So these are nonprofit, other organizations. Chamber dues, $600, like they've been. Arts Commission, are they pretty much, yeah, go ahead,
We
Penny.
haven't contributed to the Arts Commission for a while. They weren't using the funding. They kind of were accumulating. They are now using it for projects, and are down to about $7,000. So I haven't received any request letter. They probably are good for this year, but I foresee it in the future.
RSVP, we match what the county contributes. Now, Fleming Mason Airport, if you look there, we typically give $10,000 a year.
We give 7.
Or 7, is that what it is? I'm sorry. We give 7, the county gives
Yeah.
7. Excuse
And I
me.
added that 15 for the addition.
Penny added 15 for the grant. We have a match on the grant, the $9 million grant that they have. There's
6.8.
6.8, excuse me. There's a roughly $40,000 local match required, and that'll be divided up among the 4 entities: us, fiscal court, City of Flemingsburg, and Fleming County Fiscal Court. And this is a big project, very important project out there. So that's why Penny added some extra money into that one.
And basically, all but that 60,000 is either being paid by federal or state funds. And it's actually for 2 projects. One is the hangar and building where we're in partnership with the Maysville Community College is going to be offering aviation mechanics curriculum and degree there. And then the other project is to extend the runway. And, until I had served on the board, I had no idea of how busy the airport is. But they sold their second largest month of fuel last month there. And so there's a lot of traffic in and out of that airport.
And we're so lucky to have a regional airport here. YMCA, Tom Bryan Boys and Girls Club, those are annual, $10,000. Now, the past couple years, I believe we've given 5 to Wald Park. Is that correct, Penny? And they
Last year
requested.
we gave 5, and then the previous year was in FY18, we gave 5.
Okay.
So we gave 10 over since they.
But that was a continuation of what we were giving for the main, Jimmy Salmons was maintaining the park up there.
No,
That's all we did.
we didn't start giving to Wald Park until I think we gave a capital. Did we do a capital?
Yes.
In 2018,
Okay.
we gave 5,000.
Okay.
Jimmy Salmons said he got money for fuel, maintenance, and he maintained it before they.
I'm not-
before they
That
sold
might
it.
have been before.
That would have been
they
before,
took over
yeah.
With this organization.
May have been. But as you can see in their letter, they're asking for $10,000 this year. They're raising funds to install lights at the park. $5,000 will be utilized for general operating purposes, and $5,000 will be put towards the light campaign.
Well, that's good, 'cause I think
It's
they
packed
get a
up
lot.
there. you
It's
all. I'm
packed.
telling you, it's getting
And they
used.
can't play at nighttime, I guess, because
No.
they don't have the lights. I'm in favor of it.
Okay?
Has there been any commitment on the part of the county to match what we give or contribute?
I do not know,
I do
Commissioner.
like that sentiment when we can go in with other governments to do this. It shows sort of a broad-based
Both
support instead of just,
If I were a bet man, I'm sure they got the same request that we did.
I think it's worth reaching out to them, and for what it's worth, if we can build a consensus, that'd be great.
Yeah,
I
but I
understand that
think
too.
this is well deserved, because they are, on weekends, they're packed with.
Yeah, there was a tournament held this weekend, 23 teams between Wall Park, Boys and Girls Club, and the Rec Park. And you think of the indirect money that we receive through hotels, through restaurants. People are spending, people are spending, they're spending money here.
This
If they don't live here and they come here, they're tourists, and they spend that money.
That's what we want.
yeah, I'm so in favor of that.
Senior citizens, $2,000. And then the last one there, this is the new farmers market that's going to be going in downtown. What they're asking for is assistance for 3 years for their liability insurance. Now, what I would ask out of you, if you're willing to do this, is go on and authorize us to do $350 this year because they're going to start June 4th prior to the end of the fiscal year, and then allocate another $350 for next year. Does that make sense?
So will that come to us in an amended budget, Kenny?
We've-
We
yeah.
have extra funds.
Yeah.
And-
That
So we don't have to worry about it?
I just want to make sure you're okay if we do that for this fiscal year we're in
You know how
now.
much that's being used down there?
Oh, it's going to get used a lot, even more. Oh, it's. I mean,
the people go out there in the afternoon and they picnic in their cars.
Good.
They raise their hatches on their car and they just sit there and picnic.
and I commend these two guys right here for their work that they did. They did a wonderful job. Well, I appreciate you all allocating the money this year to do this.
We
This is
need it.
a,
This
If
is
I
what,
thought it was gonna be that nice, I would've made it twice as big.
yeah,
It's just
and I'm
really
sure you
good.
all have heard
Right.
comments. I have not heard.
Everything.
I've heard wonderful comments on it. So if you're okay with that,
we're
we'll.
okay.
Okay.
So, we're okay with everything on this paper, right?
Penny, anything new that you can think of?
I may increase that line item from 65 to 70, just so if something comes up within the year, we've got some extra money, because that gets pretty tight with the amounts that's requested. So I'll probably increase that line item to 70.
I think that's wise because we do get little requests during the year.
Total amount?
Yeah.
Yes,
the
ma'am.
total amount that I've got on the line item, where I said down, I've got 65, I'm gonna increase that to 70, just so if something comes up through the year, we don't have to make any kind of amendments.
Now,
Good
do
idea.
they get, like, the YMCA, Wall Park, will they get this all at one time?
They bill us most of the time. I've got
Oh, they
kind of
know
a date,
that?
a rate, schedule
Okay.
that when I send them every year.
Okay,
I'll use that request letter as my authorization, but they, sometimes will send us an invoice.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, now what I would like to do, and I'm going to give you the really bad part of what I was doing this morning. I was taking a look at all the numbers of all of the requests, and I even took into account. I know Penny's got, and she can explain this a lot better than I can. She's got a lot of this stuff already in there. But even if you look at our grant matches, all of the capital requests, and what I didn't include things in there that Penny already has in the operating budget. She already has that included for next year. Or the items that she spoke with Dennis about that could be done this year, like cutting the trees over at the park, which they're working on. We're at about $3 million in requests. Is that fair? Even taking the grants into account as well, taking our match into account. We had a surplus FY21 of roughly $2.3 million. So if you did the math, that's about a $7,000 deficit. 700,000, excuse me. Thank you, sir. Now, the number she has given you on page 1 there, if you take out the $2.2 million transfer to the utility department, $750,000 for river projects, and $500,000 for the flood pump, that's at about what, 5? That's about, so if you take that 500,000 plus approximately 5 to another 700,000, we'd be looking at a roughly $1 to $1.2 million deficit.
Where's the
If-
400,000 you're talking about?
Okay, Vic, on the first page, this red number,
At the bottom, okay, yeah.
yeah, if you take out those numbers down at the bottom, then you have a deficit of roughly $500,000. So that 4.4 is not, I mean, it's correct.
Is correct.
It's
but-
correct, but it can be misleading. But it is correct. It's absolutely correct.
Because a lot of this is carry forward funds.
Correct. I mean, we've got, at the end of FY21, we had about 17 million in carryover. So, and then with this year getting the ARPA funds, I'm projecting probably a $2 million surplus if we receive it before the end of the fiscal year. So, but, the big part of that is that 2.2 million to transfer to the utility fund, to have for all those capital projects, to fund those projects that was presented. That will more than cover everything that was asked for on the utility end. And get everything up to speed on what we can do now that needs to be done.
So what I wanted to ask you is there anything that we've gone through in the past 2 weeks that you want to take out? You know, if you,
I'm on a $15,000 Christmas tree, I'm sorry. Can we get one? I mean, that one.
but think about it. How long would that last us?
Excuse me.
How long would a $15,000 fake Christmas tree last us down at the mall? 10 years?
Oh, yeah. Well, we've had the other one almost 20.
So if you do the math and break it down by year, it is worth it.
I did ask Caroline to get me some ideas on what she would like to see down there. And she
Yeah.
was supposed to get that to me.
Just make sure it's a competitive price, I guess, is my big concern.
Yeah, me too.
And
It's
we'll
sticker
get,
shock
we'll
when
get
you see-
several, anytime it's over.
We have to get 3 quotes.
Yeah, they have to get three comparable quotes. So I did ask her to work on what she would like to see down there, looking at live versus artificial and.
Well, and it's gotta be outdoor. I did look them up too, since you were asking. And I did
I always
always,
see it,
and
so-
there's a range in
There's
there.
a range.
But we just have to make sure that we're getting the best value for our dollar spent.
Exactly. It's gonna last.
All right.
I'm sure Caroline will come up with some great ideas.
Absolutely. She
And I
always
had
does.
already included that in her operating budget, that some Christmas tree and bow money.
So is she gonna get that pretty soon?
When we talked after the last meeting, she was gonna work on that for me. But I haven't seen her since.
Because what we need to do is we need to start finalizing these numbers so that Penny can put an ordinance together.
I'm okay with everything else, I really am. It's just I'm hung up on $15,000.
Break it down over 20 years, Aya.
It's just,
I understand.
like, that's a lot of money.
And it is. And I think it's, but
I'm sorry.
Buying her wood some wood is
I
falling
bet
over
you're
in
about
chair.
to, yeah.
But take that, you
I
know, over a
understand.
20-year period and it's $750 a year. Bless you. And you
If
go
it
to get
lasts
a-
that long.
Sure. Oh, I mean, if
If it
we could get 10 years out of it. I mean, Dennis, how much do you think a real tree that size would cost?
Probably around 2,500.
That's my
Cincinnati,
thinking.
I think allocated 12,000 for their tree to go up in Times Square down there, so I think they allocated 12,000 for their real one. And then that's not counting
I
the
get it.
crane and
It's
stuff to
just-
come in to set it up.
I just,
I,
people say, $15,000, it sounds like a lot of money.
But I think you look at the long term. The
I
long
know.
term on it.
I try to look at long term, but sometimes things don't last long term.
Well, and maybe they'll find one that doesn't cost that much.
Yeah.
and it might do it, yes. And I started shopping early, so right now, I can get up to the
I
33%
understand, and I
discount.
appreciate that. It's
Yeah.
just, it's not,
So, you know, and so, you know, it was a $15,000 tree, but let's hope I can still get that 33% discount on top of that, and then, you know.
yeah.
In a better ballpark.
I hope it comes in a very good box.
We'll recycle it too. Vic, you were going to say something.
No, I
Thank
just
you.
want you to break that down for me real quick, summary form. So instead of a $4 million deficit, you're doing what?
Okay, Penny, you want to explain that?
What he was trying to say, so I've got the $4 million deficit.
Right.
If you add back 2.2 million for the transfer to the utility,
Okay.
$750,000 that we allocated for river projects, which we may not use because we've applied for
Flat.
grants.
Yeah.
And the $500,000 on the flood pump.
Take all that off of that
Yeah,
4
'cause
point.
those
Take it
are-
away from it.
And that
May
gives you
not-
what? A deficit of what?
So we're about at,
What'd you say? Was it 5 or 8?
around
500,000, I think she said.
And so where are you proposing to get that?
Well, that'll be used carryover funds.
Okay.
Because we're projecting about, 17 we have 17 million right now in carryover, additional to use that. And I haven't gone through it and added all the numbers because I thought we were gonna kind of go down and see what we were gonna take out, but we're not taking out anything. I can rework that and have it for the next meeting.
I've gotta say that I like what I've seen.
$576,000. That's what that would be. You take all those out, that would be a deficit of $576,000 without, sorry, Andrew, without these capital requests.
And I like the thought that those dollars are being used for services or, to our citizens and not just sitting in the bank because they're not making that much interest at this point anyway.
Sorry, I did not mean to cut you
No.
off there.
No, I'm just gonna say that when you join the city commission, you don't know whether departments ask for twice as much as they really want, and play hide and seek with the money and which projects are necessary. But over 4 years, I've come to realize these projects are all necessary. There's not games being played
No.
that I've been able to discern with the budget, and probably need more money for more projects. So I feel very comfortable with all these requests that.
I do too,
They've
and I
come
feel
across that.
confident what they've asked for is very well needed.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything you would add?
We did flood the electric work for that.
Right. Okay.
We'll have to decide on the contract,
That's coming.
which that'll be coming to you all.
Sounds good.
I'm good with that.
Is there any idea when you'll hear on that riverfront money?
Last I heard from Christy Dodge at Buffalo Trace, she felt like we'd hear something in June.
And how much?
That one is federal lands access, 1.6 million, $165,000 match, right? Is that Penny? 10% on that. So that's, you take 750 and only have to do 165. That's really good. That would be yeah. We have a lot of really good grants out there right now that we're waiting to hear on. A lot of really good ones. Did I tell you about the Boys and Girls Club?
No.
They're going to contribute $10,000 to our land water conservation fund application.
Okay.
So that'll knock our match down from $50,000 to $40,000. Plus, they're going to donate the land, obviously. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. So I guess
Good. I'm good.
So proceed with the numbers that we have. That's my question.
I mean,
You're killing me.
Yes, I'll help you look for Christmas trees. I'm sorry.
I know you will.
Rework the summary sheet and just go through and add and subtract and email you all out that sheet and then work on the ordinance.
Would you all be available Friday? I'll even get lunch.
When it comes to this, yes.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what your projection over the end of the year, any carryover
For
funds?
this fiscal year,
20
about
FY 22?
yes, I think about 2 million. If we receive the additional ARPA funds before the end of the fiscal year. That's, if they say we are gonna receive it, but we haven't received them yet.
If we do, Penny, would you say our contingency be at about 19 million?
19.5.
And I do. Normally, you have to be smart with what you do. But I think Deborah made a good point. That money's just sitting in the bank,
You know it.
I mean, we should spend a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Well, especially with 8% inflation or 7% inflation, I don't mean to look at it the wrong way, but, if we're getting 0% interest, and if there really is 7% inflation, then we're losing $1.4 million every year that it's, if we're gonna spend it anyway, my attitude is we might as well spend it now.
Now's the time.
While
Yes,
the dollar
sir.
will go further.
Now's the
Than
time.
graduated over 5 or 10 years when
I think this is a one-time shot to spend some money and get what we need.
Well, you might get 2 trees for
Well,
well, and, I have to congratulate you all on your being fiscally responsible and toning back the budget the last few years with COVID, putting things on the back burner. And I think now we owe it to our citizens to take care of the services that they need. But, you know, that comes from you all being fiscally responsible, so thank you.
Would
Well,
ele-
and they can't do a good job if they don't have the means to do a great job with.
Got to have the tools.
And that's all the departments, all department heads, and administrative staff.
Exactly.
Thank you all. Would 11:30 Friday work for everybody?
I'm out of town.
You out of
I
town?
don't want to stop that from approving the budget. or-
Well, and what really the key on Friday is to get the pay scale so that we can give you all an opportunity to look at that, because that'll be part of the, we'll have to do a separate ordinance
I
on
do
that.
want to ask,
Sure.
charging stations, you said you would put that in the budget, did you do that
Yes.
for the charging?
It's not
station?
included in our numbers yet, but it is on David's updated sheet that's in the book.
$20,000.
$20,000 in for it.
Yes, and there is, I was involved in a very head spinning seminar a couple weeks ago. And there's money. There's money coming down from the federal government, coming to the states. So we're looking at that as well.
Good.
Yeah.
If we could do it earlier than 11,
I'm-
11:30 would be better for me.
Commissioner,
I
you-
think I'm okay with that.
And you're,
I'm in Northern Kentucky the whole day,
Okay.
so I'm out, but I don't want to stop us from
Okay.
having that meeting, so go ahead and have it without me.
I'd have to let you know when you get back to office.
Okay.
I got-
What'd you say, Leslie?
well,
No,
I tell you
said
what,
earlier.
you do that, you look, see what works for you, and then I'll get a text message out to everybody and we'll go from there.
Is no one available on Thursday? Is Thursday?
We've got, well, here's the problem. We've got interviews for RFP Thursday. That starts at what, 11? I mean, unless we could do it earlier.
It was just a thought.
Probably do
would
it
be
earlier.
better.
Are you out Thursday?
Are you out Thursday?
They start, is it 11?
No,
First one's at
Thursday's
11? 11, 1, and
Can
2.
we do it
Yes, and I
early?
have a 10.
Okay. Yeah,
Early?
we do it 8 or 8:30.
That would be better.
If Commissioner, if that works for him.
I'll let you-
Well, I'll get with you.
You said Thursday or Friday?
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday.
I will get with you as soon as we get out of here. You all look at your calendars and we'll set that.
That's good.
All righty. Anything else on the budget session?
Penny, anything else that you know? Anybody else in here? That's all I have.
Can I add one thing?
Is it deal with the budget?
Yes.
Okay.
I talked with I'm meeting with our playground guy right now, and there is a matching grant that's gonna be coming up. But, it's only a one-time thing, and he says he's hoping to have it done by August. So just to give you all heads up, it's a matching 100% grant.
What?
50/50.
Oh, 50/50.
It'll be a 50/50. Whatever we spend, they'll match us with it. So,
Okay.
I just wanna give you heads up, but I won't know the numbers until he comes back to me with them.
Okay.
He's doing them today.
Okay.
Do we need to set any other budget dates? Or we'll just do this and then we'll have the,
I think we can have the ordinance at the following meeting, so we have.
Yeah, because she's going to be out of the office next week. So
So I
we'll,
can have the ordinance ready. If I can have the meeting on Thursday, I can work on it Friday and have it for you all for the next meeting to have the first reading of the budget.
That's good.
okay?
I won't be here, but I mean the numbers will be set in stone at that point anyway.
well, let's see. We'll have to look and see when you're. We'll figure it out.
I'm here
We'll work it out.
for the regular meeting.
Okay, we'll work it out.
I've scheduled.
Yeah,
all my
yeah, that way
vacations around the commission meeting.
Right. If we could do the first reading on the 26th and then the second reading on the 9th, I believe is the first regular meeting date, then we're
We'll
done.
be done.
We'll be done.
Yeah. 'Cause I'll be out of town.
And yeah, we get into vacation season and all that for everybody.
Okay,
Okay, I'll look when we get done here and we'll figure it out.
okay.
That's all I have, Mayor.
I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brammer,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Cartmel, Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner McKay,
Yes.
Mayor Cotterill.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all.